What's up, guys? Today we are going to start a new series of how-to videos, and today we're going to be focusing on the major scale. We think it's super important that you know how to build a major scale, how it functions, all that kind of stuff. So let's jump in. The first place to start with the major scale is going to be with our musical alphabet. So our musical alphabet is only 7 letters. You know, when you compare it to the 26 letters we have of our regular alphabet that we use for words and, poems and poetry and all that kind of stuff, right? So we have 7 letters, and it's A through G. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. That's it, right? For all of our music and modern American music, we only have 12 notes, and it's some combination of those letters and accidentals, which are sharps and flats. So once we know that A through G is what we're going to use, and that's all that we're going to use, right? The next step is to introduce the major scale formula. Here's the formula. So you'll see in the yellow that there are W's and H's. The W's represent whole steps. The H's represent half steps. Here's what a half step looks like on a guitar. Here's what a half step looks like on a piano. Here's what a whole step looks like on a guitar. And this is a whole step on a piano. So once we know the 2 elements of the major scale formula, which are half steps and whole steps, and we know what the formula is, it's whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, we can be certain that it's never going to change. It's always the same, and you can build a major scale using this every single time from whatever note you start on. So how do we build it? Well, we're going to go back to our alphabet, and we're going to start there. So let's use the key of D. So what I want you to do, the first step is to lay out your scale alphabetically. Don't worry about sharps or flats, any of the accidentals, just lay it out according to the letters in the loop of our 7-letter alphabet. So for us to lay it out, you're going to see it here in the green. It's D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So we're going to build the D major scale, but we're going to start with the alphabet on D. So we've got our loop intact. We've got all the letters of our alphabet, and they're in the correct order. So here's a couple things to note. The first thing is this. No letter is going to repeat, and you're going to use every letter. Always. Those are 2 rules that are definites. The same as the formula is not going to change, right? So what do we do after that? Well, we're going to start and use the formula now the correct way. And the way to do it is this. So we're going to start on D, and we're going to go up a whole step from D. And just a reminder, a whole step from D is going to be 2 half steps, or if you know it, just a whole step. It's pretty simple, right? And the way we're going to do this is we're going to check and see if the letter we have written is the correct note. So going up a whole step from D is in fact E. So let's move on. From E up a whole step, it's not F. So this is where we're going to introduce our accidentals. And in the key of D, we're going to introduce sharps. You're not ever going to have sharps and flats in the same key unless you're in jazz. For every major scale, on a regular major scale, it's going to be either all sharps or all flats. That's also a rule. So here's the cool thing. When we go up a whole step from E, we don't land on F. We actually land on F sharp. We know it's going to be an F something, and it's a half step above F, so it's an F sharp. Okay, so let's move on. So from F sharp, we go up a half step, and that's G. Then we go up a whole step from G, that's A, so that is correct. Go up a whole step from A, that's B, that is correct. And now we're going to go up another whole step from B, and it's not C. So once again, the same thing we did for F, we're going to do for C. We know it's a C something, and it's not a C flat, so it can be implied it's a C sharp. So C sharp is, in fact, the note that we're going to use in the D major scale. Up a half step is D, and we've reached the end of our scale, and then it loops. So that's how you build the major scale. Just to recap, the first and most important thing is that you know your musical alphabet. All of your letters are going to be intact, they're not going to repeat, and you're going to use all of them at least once. The next thing is that your major scale formula will not change, and it's always going to be accurate. So it's a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. I would just recommend that you memorize that. If you memorize it, then you're always good to go, and you can build the major scale in whatever key you're in, whether it's F sharp, C sharp, E flat, A flat, whatever. You can build the major scale. Once you do that, you then are going to pair the major scale formula and the alphabet together and use the major scale formula as your measuring distance from note to note. And if they're not correct, then what you're going to do is you're going to insert the accidentals where needed. And that's what you need to know to build a major scale so that you can thrive and know what notes are correct to play and what notes are incorrect to play. And you don't look like a dummy calling it the wrong note, right? Because in the key of D, you don't want to call it a G flat. You want to call it an F sharp because that's what it is. Thanks, guys.